F-150 pickup truck with 2 dirt bikes in the bed of the truck. So he gets me to the hospital, and he's wicked supportive, and we're leaving the hospital hours later, and we walk into the car, and he says to me, you can totally get one of those handicapped parking tags now. And I was like, Christopher, are you kidding me? I've just been diagnosed with a serious chronic illness, multiple sclerosis. Christmas is next week. Parking is the last thing on my mind. And he said, but seriously, if you don't want to use it right away, you can let me borrow it. And I pictured that truck with the dirt bikes in the back backing into a handicapped parking spot, and I doubled over and laughed. And then the next day, I'm on my way to a local hospital for my first infusion, and I'm driving through a town where I've been told the cops are very strict, and I get stopped for speeding. And the scariest looking, meanest looking police officer you can imagine gets out of his cruiser, and he comes up to me, and he says, so where are you going in such a hurry? And I didn't have the mindset to lie, so this is what I said. Officer, I'm really sorry I was speeding, but I was diagnosed with MS yesterday, and I'm really overwhelmed and crazy, and I'm late, and I'm on my way to the hospital for my first infusion, and I don't know what's going to happen if I'm late, and I'm really sorry, that's not an excuse, I shouldn't have been speeding. I thought he was going to order me out of the car to give me a hug. And the look on this scary cop's face was just so funny, it was all I could do not to crack up. And I didn't get a ticket. I did get detained because, as it turns out, he knew someone who knew someone who knew someone who had multiple sclerosis, so he had a bunch of tips to give me. But those 2 things happening made me crack up, and I realized, you know what? When I'm laughing about this, it's just better. I just felt better. And so I started writing about what I found so funny. And a lot of people are like, what could possibly be funny about chronic illness? Oh, what's not funny about it? Or at least not frustratingly funny. Like, for example, my biggest symptom, or one of them, was the fatigue. And people said to me, well, you need to eat healthy. That'll help with the fatigue. You probably can't tell from this curvaceous figure, but I didn't have the best eating habits. So I had to start eating healthy. What does that mean? That means vegetables, produce. So what's involved with produce? You've got to go to the grocery store, buy it fresh, because it's healthier when it's fresh. Bring it home, wash it, dry it, slice and dice it. Yeah, let's give an exhausted, already clumsy girl with loss of dexterity in her hands a big knife and tell her to get healthy. Then you've got to cook these vegetables. It is freaking exhausting. You know what's not exhausting? Popping the top off a pint of Ben & Jerry's. That's not exhausting. You grab a spoon, you take the top off, you've got dinner, you are good to go. Or let's talk about some of the symptoms. Another symptom I have is the bladder issues. Most people, you go to the bathroom, you go, it's done for a while, you can forget about it. No, not with multiple sclerosis. It's like a revolving door. And it got to the point where I actually just discovered you can take medication to help me. And so I take the medication, but the side effect of the medication is the worst dry mouth you could ever possibly imagine. It's so bad you can barely talk. So the only cure for that is drinking more water, which negates the point of the medication in the first place. I have pretty much moved my television, my favorite pillow, in my refrigerator into the bathroom, and if you're looking for me, that's where you'll find me. I don't know about the rest of you, but when it comes, thank you, John. But when it comes to MS, it's the bladder issues that really piss me off. So I started writing about the humor stuff. Delayed reaction on that one. So I started writing about what I found so funny and what I found so frustrating, and that's where my website was born. So my website is YvonneDeSousa.com. It has a weekly humor blog. It has information about my book, Shameless Self-Promotion. It's called MS Madness. It's wicked funny, great reviews. You can learn more about it on my website. It also has laugh lines, which are just like amusing one-liners by people famous and not so famous. And it has a new section, which I'm really excited. It was inspired by this conference. The new section is called Giggles, where all of you and people that you know can share your own chronic illness humor story. The only requirement is that it be somewhat funny, and that it be slightly PG rated. So I hope you'll check it out and think about adding your funny story, your giggle, to my website. And please think, I think you guys know this because we're all in this together, but I am not saying by having a sense of humor, you're not allowed to have your breakdowns, because I have me some breakdowns. I have me some really good breakdowns, let me tell you. Facial tissue companies love me. You want to get rich? Invest in Kleenex. I'm telling you, you'll be a millionaire in a few weeks. What I am saying is when you can take something that's really overwhelming to you and turn it into something that makes you laugh, you'll feel better. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I look much cuter when I'm laughing than when I'm crying. Thank you so much, Yvonne.